YouTube, Louie here, and welcome to the weekend. I'm glad we made it. That's for a friend of mine. Hey, today I want to tell you 3 things that every stacker needs to know. And many of you know these 3 things, but maybe not everybody, and there's so many new stackers that probably worth reviewing so you don't make a mistake that could cost you in terms of paying too much for your silver. All right, before I do, welcome to my returning and new viewers. If you would, take a moment and hit that thumbs up button. As a thank you, here is a little video of the new puppy and the cat messing around. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and let's get on to thing number 1. Thing number 1 is don't overpay and learn to type for junk. Now, it's pretty easy to do as a brand new stacker. You might go over to JM Bullion's website. And here we've got junk, 2412 times face. All right, and silver spot is 23.85. And you may think, wow, what a deal. Spot, first of all, is not 23.85. It's more like 23.70. But we're on the Shyster network here, and they have their own spot price. But anyway, 2412 times face. Now let's figure out how to figure out what that is actually in premium. And you'll see very quickly how exorbitant this premium is given the current drop in premiums over the last few weeks. It has been dramatic, eye-opening, and tells you that demand for retail silver is low right now. Okay, those are the givens. You can discuss those if you want, but that's what I think. So an important number for you in this calculation is 71.5. That's the percent of silver in constitutional, in every ounce of constitutional, whether it be a dime, a quarter, a half, or even a silver dollar. All right, so what did they say that was? One more time. All right, they say it's 2412. Let's find out what kind of a deal that is. So 71.5, so 24.12. All right, and in this case, you have to divide by 0.715. Just keep that 0.715 in your head, and then we'll do the math here. 24.12 divided by 0.715 equals 33.75. 33.75 minus the spot price of silver, which is about 23.70, and you can see we've got a $10 premium on junk. Okay, don't do that. Okay, the top premium you ought to be paying on junk right now is probably $2. All right, I mean, maybe $3 if you want it really bad or you're picky about something, but a $10 premium on junk. Now, what we would want to see, okay, if we wanted to see a $2 premium, what kind of face value are we looking for? Let's get rid of all of this. Come on off of there. Oh, my God. I need to do this on Word, not Notepad. All right, so if spot, let's go back up here. If spot is 23.70 and you want to pay a $2 premium, that is 25.70. All right, and how do you get to what the times face is? We will want to multiply this times, same number, 0.715. All right, let's do that math. And 2570.7 times 0.715 equals 18.3 times face. $18.30 times face. What is the current melt value of junk? Well, let's do that as well. We'll just do it on the calculator. 2370 times 0.715 equals 1695. 1695 is what the melt is on a dollar of junk, 90%. All right, if there would be different fractions here if you were doing 40%. I want to talk about 40% as well. But 1695 is likely what they will be paying, maybe 50 cents over when you bring it in to sell it. You don't believe me? Well, let's go over to JM Bullion again and let's see what they buy. And there is a time to sell to JM Bullion. And there is a time, to buy, very infrequently. But you can look up the buy prices on Constitutional. Finally, 90%. Okay, what are they paying for 90%? $16.69. What did I say melt was? $16.95. They're paying 30 cents over for... No, under. That was under. 1669 is under the melt price of junk. And for everybody who said junk would never come down in price, well, that's pretty far. So they're selling it to you for $25.70. No, they're selling it to you for, what was that, $31 or something per ounce, and they're buying it from you at $16.95. That's a hard money price. Hard money price. You have to really need money hard to want that. All right, so now you've seen that the melt is $16.95. If you want to go about $2 over, you might pay 18.30 times face. Vermilion Enterprises on YouTube may have a deal, something like that, maybe a little bit more. But junk has crashed, and people are dumping their junk, okay? Because there's plenty of it. And when momentum comes off and people need money, they sell the thing that everybody collects. They sell their junk. And remember 0.715, and remember to do that division over whatever they're asking, and then you will see the full price per ounce that you're paying. I hope that was clear. I stumbled a little bit there, but I think you got it. Now, recently I was contemplating buying some 40%, because you can buy 40% for spot. Okay, and I thought Vermilion, I think, has been selling 40% for spot. And I was like, well, what in the hell are they paying for 40%? And we had one up here. We had a 40% Kennedy. Was it down here? There it is, 40% Kennedy. So they're paying 5.04. Let's find out what 40% is going for. So we're going to get rid of all this. And it leads me to believe you should never buy 40%. Okay, so if we take 0.4 and we divide that by 0.9, you don't really have to follow this, but I want to give you the conversion factor. 0.4 divided by 0.9 equals 0.444. All right? So what this number here is 0.444. 0.4 times 0.444, 71.5 times 0.444, 71.5 times 0.444, this will be a familiar number, is 31.75. All right, it's actually 0.3175 is the silver content in every dollar of 40%. If you multiply that times the current price of 23.70, 23.70 times the silver content, 0.3175, equals 7.52. 7.52 is the melt value of a 40% junk piece. That would normally be a Kennedy in the 65 to 69 zone. 7.52. What are they paying for it over at JM Bullion? They are paying 5.04, so you would take roughly a 40% haircut on any 40% that you bought at spot. What are they selling it for? Well, let's see. 40% at just 40%. And they are selling 40% at 7.74. Go back here. $7.74. Okay, so melt is 7.52. They're selling it for a little over melt, but as you saw, they're paying 40% less if you go to sell it. So 40% in the retail market is clearly going to be a poor buy unless you can get it for 30 to 40% under spot. And I've always wondered why that was. I mean, I scratch my head sometimes when it comes to constitutional, because constitutional is not 999 silver. You can't melt it, or it might even be illegal. But if you do melt it, you'd have to smelt it and remove the impurities, which is harder than it sounds. But it's basically a bargaining tool. And a 90% and a 40%, well, you would say, and instead of giving me 50 cents of 90%, give me $1 worth of 40%. They should be equivalent, but they are not. But as a bargaining tool, they really should be, because it's about the silver content of the bargaining unit. But in the aftermarket, people don't buy 40%. People want 90%. And that shows you how big the premiums can be on something that actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. If you're stacking it for silver content and for barter, it should be the silver content that drives the price. But for 40%, it does not. It is, the black sheep of the constitutional family. War nickels might be worse, probably are. So don't get yourself into 40% junk, okay? Even though it seems, buying it at spot, no, get yourself 90% and try to find that, at $1 to $2 over spot, and that face value of, I forget what we said, but, in that 17, 18 zone. It was trading at 17 to 18 just a couple of months ago. And if you can't find it yet, you will find it. Don't go to JM Bullion to make those purchases. You will get so ripped off. I mean, they are like the coin shopping network of retailers. Okay. Now, what is the next thing? Is know where to sell your silver. All right. So there are things to sell at the local coin shop, and there are things to sell at the retailers. All right, so just going through the things to sell at the local coin shop, any generic bullion is almost always better sold at the local coin shop. Hopefully you paid $1 over spot, and the biggest haircut you're going to take is maybe $1. So that are the the 10-ounce bars, the kilos, and the 1-ounce rounds. 1-ounce rounds carry a higher premium than bars, but generally anything that is low premium is for the local coin shop. Low premium. The retailers, like JM Bullion, you want to sell your high premium. All right, so let's go back to JM Bullion into what they purchase. Sell your products. So let's say, You have something like a pre-33 $10 Liberty Gold MS65. I mean, if you take that into the coin shop, you may get a decent premium, but you probably won't get $2,795. You probably won't get $1,000 over spot for that. Right. Okay, if you have something, let's see. What else are they buying here that's interesting? Pandas. I don't want that panda, but let's look at 21S Morgan. Interesting. Looking for something else. Well, graded coins. Generally, if they're popular graded coins, they're probably going to pay you more on JM Bullion than your local dealer will. He'll be buying at wholesale because he'll be reselling it to someone like a JM Bullion or one of their other prime customers. Something like a Libertad. Let's check out what they're paying for Libertads, because those are very popular and command a Libertad. No, they're not buying. They're not buying them. Okay, they're not paying the high premiums on Libertads. What are they selling them for? But I'm sure they're charging a high premium. So here they're selling the Libertads for 44.75, but they are not buying the Libertads. Isn't that interesting? Let's try that again. Sell to us online. Well, that would be 1 ounce. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Mexico Mint. All right. Oh, they are, but you had to look them up. So they're selling them for 42 and they're buying them for 26, which is about $3 over spot. So, that sucks, but still, I bet your LCS may not even pay you that. Let's go back to something else that is graded, or even something like no, not that. Let's go to Perth Mint. A lot of us have Perth Mint, kooks and koalas. Let's see, kangaroos, they're buying for spot. Koalas, okay. Well, they're buying kookaburras for $25.85. They're giving you $2 over spot for kooks. And lunars, they're giving you, well, that's a pretty good price on lunars. They're giving you $5 over spot for lunars. Okay, if you bring this stuff into the LCS, they're probably going to maybe throw you an extra buck or two, but something like this is best sold at a retailer. Okay, so you see the difference, and the same thing may go for gold, but kind of depends what kind of gold. So graded gold, you probably will get more at a retailer. Let's see what they're charging for the graded Morgans. Morgan Silver 2023. And they're selling the raw for 108. Of course, those were 76 if you bought them directly from the mint. These will be the rejects that did not grade, in my opinion. You can buy a first day of issue for 178, cheaper on eBay, and you get that 3% discount if you use my credit card. 178. 158 for early release. So, are they buying them? No, I don't think they're buying these because as far as I know, Pinehurst was the only one buying the raw Morgans. But if you have the graded Morgans, that's going to be in the future. That is going to be a better sale at a JM Bullion. Let's look at the 2021s. Are they buying those? Okay, they're buying the O Privy for $200. Again, it was about a $67 issue price. No, they're selling it for $200. Yeah, these are mostly out of stock. Let's see if they're buying them. Sell to us online. 2021 Morgan. Are they buying them? Yeah, okay. They're paying 105, well under market. 105. They're paying 160 for the Carson City. If you remember, in the early days, those sold for $400, and then they dropped down to well below that in the hundreds. 105 for the D, and 105. Okay. Let's see if there's buying the peace dollars just to check it out. 2020. What happened? 2021 piece. And are they buying that? Yeah, they're paying 105 for the peace dollars. So there you go. There was only one mint mark on the peace dollar. I think the peace dollars are easily as collectible as the Morgans, but they haven't quite sold as well in the aftermarket. So again, you can see things. If you take this into your LCS, I mean, you might get $80, $85. So know what to sell there and know what not to sell there. And you just have to do some research and make a few phone calls to know. Okay, thing number 3. Know where to buy your silver. Okay, now this is subjective. Everybody has got a favorite coin shop, and everybody has got a favorite retailer. And you might even have a favorite Instagrammer, right? And maybe Facebook, and maybe you're in a coin club. Well, where to buy? The thing about your favorite coin shop, where's my mouse? The thing about your favorite coin shop is coin shops, okay, I am very agnostic about where to buy, all right, because I'm looking for the best price. Now, some people really favor loyalty and really want a relationship with the LCS, and you can absolutely get that without doing all your shopping there. You can shop every third visit at the LCS, tell a few stories, you can do some selling at the LCS. Believe me, your local coin shop likes you when you buy, okay, depending on the premiums. If you pay too much, then they're going to like you more. And they love you when you sell because they make money twice on a sale. And if they can buy that Libertad at $26 and sell it at $35 or flip it on eBay, they love you when you sell. All right. So be agnostic about where you shop. And pretty much any local coin shop deal can be found online for less. All right. Use reputable retailers. I like bullion exchanges, Hero Bullion, Bold. I like Vermilion Enterprises on YouTube. I like the Canadian, sometimes a Canadian reseller that doesn't charge sales tax. I've even bought from LPM Hong Kong. Be agnostic where you buy. It does not matter if you're buying from reputable sellers. Okay? Important. Reputable. I don't like peer-to-peer that much. I fear it. I worry about it. Don't give your home address, your name, or your telephone number to any Joe Blow on the internet. He will very possibly come to rob you because he knows where the stuff is at. There are lots of desperate people out there. I mean, over the last year, I have been ripped off twice. And I think myself, pretty shrewd about most things. But I got ripped off trying to buy nicotine vapes online because they banned them in California for some time. And that was a ripoff. I got ripped off trying to buy a puppy through Nextdoor. It was only $50, but this guy got $50 off several hundred people probably with his cute photos. And man, was he a talker. He invested a lot of time in getting my $50. But in the end, there was no puppy. That was purchases through the Zelle, which are difficult to recover, if not impossible. So there are desperate people out there that will do desperate things for amounts of money that will shock you. If you're a stacker, you probably got a few bucks, right? Because you're putting it away. You got a little extra to put in the piggy bank for bad times. There are a lot of people with nothing. Do not give out your personal information to some guy on the internet. This is really simple. You like bullion exchanges? I like them a lot. Go to bullion exchanges on their website, see what they're charging for 10-ounce bars, then go right over to eBay and see what they're charging on eBay. Use your credit card. My eBay credit card gets me 3.5% cash back, and buy it cheaper on eBay. Same reseller. Actually, the feedback is even more important on eBay because people look at feedback. And same thing, just look for reputable resellers. And I got into the favorite retailer story here, and look for sales, and look for, this is really important, any quantity pricing. Did I spell that right? Any quantity pricing. There's a lot of that going on right now, and that's a lot better than the tiered pricing, unless you're buying 200 ounces or some large order. Those are the top 3 things, okay? We looked at how to not get ripped off buying junk, we looked at where to buy, and we looked at where to sell. That's what the video is today. Let's go back to look at some pretty silver, and we'll talk about the markets just a little bit. What's on sale? Let's get out of JM Bullion. I mean, you almost have to be a knucklehead to buy your silver here, honest to God, or Provident or APMEX. The customer service is fantastic because they can afford to pay really nice people to talk to you on the phone, to overcharge you for silver and gold. You want to go to, a different retailer. Let's go to bullion exchanges. Let's just see what's up over there. 50% off the premium. Yeah, we know Eagles are crashing. I could have got Eagles at 27.25 on the pre-market the other day. All right, and here you can get 100 at 28.64, and you may see that go, and you probably want a tube, so 28.94. I think they were a little cheaper on Hero. Oh, they were the first ones to drop their price. Deals and Silver Eagles. No, it's not on the front page. Silver Bullion, in stock, Eagles. God, come on already. No, those are cull. Never buy cull, guys. Never buy cull, unless you're getting it for spot and you want to melt it to make something. Where the hell are the Silver Eagles? 1 ounce coin. There we go. Okay, so just by going from bullion exchanges, a low selling retailer, to Hero, now we're down to, actually about the same on 100. But if you get 500, you'll be in at 28.45. Let me go back to bullion and see what their 500 price was. 528.34. So actually, bullion exchanges is cheaper in the larger quantities, but you can get them at 450 over. At Vermilion, that's 23.70, 27, 28.20. You could buy a tube of 20 at 28.20 over at Vermilion. Give him a ring if you haven't used him before, and he applies Florida sales tax rules. All right, so that's what's happening in the market in terms of sales. The premiums are dropping like a rock. You saw what's happening on junk, and you could definitely find deals on junk right now if you're looking for it. I think it'll get a little cheaper. They're moving the gold. Let's take a look. $34 for a Johnson Matthey bar. That's a little pricey. Let's take a look at the chart while we're here and tell you what I think happened last week. First, we'll go to the gold to silver ratio. I told you that I thought we had upside to 84, and the gold to silver ratio Let's get into a 1-month chart. Okay, so the GSR spiked at about 82.50, and then we had recovery, never made it to 84. And of course, we have downside on the GSR to 79. That usually means silver is going up in price. So we've had a dip. Let's go back to the silver price as I thought we would. Wasn't quite as low as I wanted to buy. I'm sorry, back to charts. Wasn't quite as low as I wanted. I was very tempted to pick up those Eagles at a really good price. How did I get gold? 1 second. What happened to silver? Oh, bloody hell. Charts, silver. And this is over a little long. Let's go to 3 months. Okay, so here we are at 23.62, and yeah, even Bullion Exchanges is advertising 23.89 as the price of silver, so they've drank the Kool-Aid as well. But 23.62 on silver, and what happened was when we had from up here, whatever, at $25, we had the 10-year spike, we had the dollar spike. That all happened shortly after or commensurate with the Fitch downgrade of the U.S. credit rating, and that just was a cannon blast to the market in terms of debt. Debt got more expensive. I don't think they have a 10-year on here, but I think the 10-year has made its run. Let's see if they have a 10-year chart. Nah. I think the 10-year has made its run because what has happened in the past when there are shocks to the market like this, it tends to roil the entire world, and the dollar sometimes strengthens in that situation. So I'm not looking for a 0.70 handle on the Dixie. I think that's fantasy if you think that's happening tomorrow. I'm actually looking for strengthening, or at least in this 100 to 103 range. And I'm looking for the 10-year to top out here. So since the 10-year may be topping out in the short term, because it got to 4.20, mortgages got to 7.20 on the 30-year, 4.20 on the 10-year, despite the downgrade, which was absolutely warranted. And it's reprehensible that our government's come out and said it doesn't mean anything. Bidenomics got caught with its pants down, and they ought to be spanked. And I hope you spank them hard in the next election. But, yes, the U.S. is in desperate shape, and in the long term, there's nothing to do but print more dollars. But in the short term, we've got a recession looming, maybe a depression, who knows, and that's going to knock the top off rates. So I don't think this is the time when the 10-year explodes, up to 8%. The other reason that the 10-year cannot, in my opinion, because I am a conspiracy theorist at heart, and of course that's just identifying trends and risks before they happen. That's really all that means. But our government is not going to allow for the longest period of time they can until it's absolutely impossible and people are eating each other for food. They are not going to let that 10-year explode higher. They'll do yield curve control. They will sacrifice the dollar, I think, at some point, which is great for silver and gold. But I don't think they're going to let that 10-year explode. They can't carry the debt. They can't fund the debt at the 10-year level. And the short rate is higher than the long. So I'm not sure what they're going to do, and it might even be secretive what they do, other than hope for recession. But they cannot sustain a 4, 5, 6% long bond. All right, they just if they borrow at that length, they may borrow at the 5-year point or the 3-year point, which would be even higher, which means that it's prediction of recession. But they can't sustain the government spending and pay all that interest expense. So they will be looking for every trick in the book to bring down the long rates. Personally, I think you can enrich yourself on that trade, but it is a little bit of a desperate trade. If you think everything's blowing up tomorrow and the government's going to take a 50%, give you a 50% haircut on bonds, then you're not quite in my camp. That may be, the story of the 2030s, right? You gotta expect things to take time. So I think rates are going to be toppy here, and I think they're going to come back down along with recession, along with the stock market. But I've said that before, and people holding long bonds got murdered last week. On the TLT and so forth. So, be careful. And if you go short, nothing wrong with going 3-month. You can't lose a penny. You make 5.4%, and you wait till the crash to pick up the deals in the bargain bin, whatever those may be. So that's what happened last week, and we'll see what happens going forward. Oil going up is really a problem for inflation, which will keep the Fed higher for longer, and the wheels are going to fall off. They have to fall off here. So I don't believe in the soft landing. I definitely don't believe in the 100% consensus that stock market is bullish. Okay, the chart may say so, but it'll say so until it doesn't say so. The market will be 15% lower at the point they say that the bull run is over, time to sell. So personally, I like to sell on the way up, and I like to buy somewhat on the way down because it's hard to catch bottoms and tops. But right now, I'm out of the stock market, and just waiting for the haircut that's going to come in everything. And I think recession will bring it. Okay, that's all my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe there was something there that gave you some information. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like it. I'll be back next week, and we will make some money, or at a minimum, protect our future and our families' lives by holding precious metals. You guys take care and have a wonderful weekend. Looks like it's going to be some pretty good weather.